again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to our first look at Alaskan Road Truckers, a beta preview of a game coming out in October of 2023. Now, I say this is our first look because this is actually a full version of the game, but as you can see at the top, there's a timer counting down, only giving us access to about the first hour of gameplay. So welcome aboard. Good to see you all here. Make sure you smash that like button if you've already watched this far into the video, and don't forget to subscribe to see more of this and many other simulation games on the channel, including that of American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2. Now, I'm wondering if you already know what's different about this game versus American Truck Simulator. Well, first of all, we're in Alaska, and as you can see here, the map is pretty big for, I guess, a first version of a game just consisting of Alaska, going all the way up to probably the northern parts of it, and a map that kind of simulates all of Alaska as a whole. I'm assuming all the way down from Anchorage to possibly the ice roads up in the north, although this game simulates a lot more than just that. Of course, it also has survival mechanics where we have to prepare food and water to prepare for long journeys where we could be trapped in our truck. And then, of course, it also has a seasonal cycle where you can see over on the left side that we're just ending winter, going right into spring, summer, and then eventually fall. So pretty cool. There's all sorts of different weather conditions, too, that you can see. Dry and temperature at 34 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So just a little bit above freezing, just a little bit above 0 Celsius. But I've got to say, directly comparing this game to American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator, it's certainly not as good in terms of a truck sim, for it being a vast environment and realistic trucks. But what it does do, it does better than American Truck Simulator in terms of being more of a survival game and doing a little bit more realism with getting the cargo ready for transportation. For example, we're going to chat with this lady here, get our first job in this big old red truck, and then, of course, hook up all the cables and prepare the trailer for transport by lifting up the supports and then heading out on the road. There's lots of different cargoes. You can see over here there's kind of a hopper. There's also quarries and other types of dry van cargo and heavy cargo too, including battle tanks and whatnot for the Army up here in Alaska. So pretty cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and take our first job and see how it is. All right, our first job then is to take some refinery equipment and make a delivery on that one. Not too bad, so we'll take that. Cool. So I've got to say, I am certainly welcoming this one with open arms because American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator are amongst the best. There's no question of that. 110% those games are outstanding, and all their DLCs, too, in the modding community blows my mind. But what this game does a little differently, in addition to the things I mentioned, also has some pretty good realistic trucks as well. They don't feel as good, but they're pretty damn close. And I'm pretty impressed with what the devs have been able to do so far with this one, and I hope to see future improvements. But what I really want to see is what modders will do with this game, perhaps, and also American Truck Simulator in terms of going to Alaska. Just because American Truck Sim takes place in America doesn't mean that they can't go to Mexico or Canada in the future, and then eventually work their way towards Alaska as well if they venture up towards Canada. So, all right, looks like everything's connected here. We'll jump back to the other side, and then we'll grab that support, and we'll just go ahead and start raising this. There we go. Kind of cool that they put this thing in. I know a lot of people make mention that they wish they could load the cargo in American Truck Simulator. It is a trucking simulator, though, not a warehouse simulator, but it still would be cool to simulate the ability to load a trailer before you actually get to operate the truck. But then again, on the other hand, skilled operators of things like logging equipment or whatnot would do that at the site. Good animations, though, smooth little animations of getting into the truck, and I've played this demo before, which had a little bit different to it. It wasn't as refined and polished just yet, but the demo did require us to go to our house and cook some food and pack up the truck and whatnot. I'll be playing with a mouse and keyboard for this purpose as well, because I feel like most people want to test this one out on a mouse and keyboard before they switch over to, like, for example, a controller. At least I would recommend doing that before you switch over to, like, a wheel or whatnot. Just get a feel for it with mouse and keyboard, and then you can customize it to however you like. But it seems to have a lot of the realism in terms of weight and mass. If we take a look on the outside of the truck, it's certainly moving slow. And yeah, there you can see the release date on the side there, October 18th, 2023. So, but the environments look great, and this kind of makes me wish that we would have gotten Gold Rush as a multiplayer game as well. However, this game does not have multiplayer from what I can see so far, but it would be a welcome sight to see the entire road here being filled with other players. Now, each one of these markers on the road are points of interest, hotels, gas stations, miscellaneous stops, and logistics locations where we can pick up or drop off cargo, and then, of course, make money. And there's all sorts of different challenging roads here. Where we are now is kind of more of a little bit of a rural area, but we're still near some major cities where you can see some square layouts, but Up in the north, that's where things are going to get real crazy. So, yeah, and it'll be different based on the time of year that we go there, too. So, although the map is not as big as American Truck Simulator by any means, it wouldn't be that unless it were just Alaskan. And hopefully they add more to this map to bring other regions of Alaska eventually. But the weather, I think, will make it feel like it's different, because this road in fall with rain could be a lot different than it is in the final snow, like a last snowstorm of the year in the fall, or rather in the winter after the fall. So you never know. All right, so a lot of good guidance here, though. You can see on the left side we've got ourselves health. We can actually be killed in this game by, like, plowing into a tree and, going through the ice and whatnot. I could imagine things like that would probably take us out. But also dying of hunger would be a thing that would hurt our health, too. So if we don't bring whoa, that is a big O-turn. Woo, that has got a lot of weight to it. That feels a lot heavier than ATS and Euro Truck. But yeah, energy in the lower left corner too, so we have to sleep and worry about all the things that you'd imagine. And look at that beautiful mountain. Wow. That mountain range is ridiculous. Look at that. Pretty. Now I'm also playing on high graphics instead of ultra just to make sure the frame rate is up there. It's holding pretty solid at about 50 frames per second, but mileage will vary based on your setup and other things that you've got going on. I could imagine this game also being used with like track IR, and again doing a big O realistic setup of a wheel and a shifter too if you want to go all the way through. But these are not realistic trucks just yet, and I hope to see some realistic brands coming to this one in the future. Looking over on the right side of the screen, we do see heat and fuel and our lights and high beams too, so we'll probably have to obey traffic laws based on the time of day. In fact, we're getting a little later in the day, and no matter what, I'm just going to leave my lights on so we don't get pinned by the fuzz, you know what I mean? So another thing to consider in this game is that there's a lot more to do outside the truck, like repairs. And if you were observant at the start of the video, you may have seen where it had for a brief moment displayed putting on a blanket to the truck to where we can kind of keep the engine a little bit more warm. And we can also, of course, go into the back of the truck and fiddle around back there with a few of the things that we can bring with us. Like we can see behind us and kind of go to the grocery store, and I think we can stack things up back there. I can remember from the demo that not only did we cook food from home, I think there was venison where we actually, like dressed a deer and made venison steaks and then packed them up to head out on the road. But we also stopped over at a grocery store to buy extra parts for our truck. Well, it was like a Costco or a Home Depot, something between the two. And we picked up batteries and oil filters and other things like that. Wow, this truck has got just an incredible amount of weight behind it. I'm shocked I did not plow into the back of that car. Wow. And wow. Okay, I gotta say now, this is the most realistic game I've ever seen because of how dumb the AI drivers are. And that's the same in American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator too. People leaving an aircraft carrier's length between them and the other car in front of them. Nobody like getting ready at all to even like move onto the road. That guy, look at, again, leaving a aircraft carrier worth of space between him and that truck before he even turned. You're gonna get into accidents just because these games they actually look pretty damn realistic. And I've got to say, in games like American Truck Simulator before, I've taken the shifter and, as I've like played in the game for about 3 or 4 hours, go into real life where I have a similar setup in my car where the shifting is a little bit different, but the shifter feels the same. And for a moment, like, you go into first gear when you mean to reverse. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You have that moment where you forget. So it does look pretty damn good, though. I've got to put it on par, at least, with the environment looking like how it does in Euro Truck Simulator. But the roads, I think, need a little work and are a little janky and stiff. But I think that will be polished out in time. And also that might be part of the challenge, too, where some of the roads, like, for example, right here, kind of have some corkscrews in them, some bumps and some dips. And so you really have to have your head on the swivel when it comes to trying to deliver cargo safely and securely. The sign there going down to 25 miles an hour, so I'm just kind of making sure I maintain that. Now, I believe another version of the game where we played in a demo also had us in a snowstorm where we actually had to, I think, pull over at one point in the game and brace for an actual snowstorm before getting to a bridge. So, and here the transmission right now is fully automatic. I'm not doing any sort of switching of the gears or anything other than just trying to hit the throttle. So this certainly is something a little bit more than just a dry van of cargo. I wish this were actually a flatbed. It would be nice to see the refinery parts that we're hauling to wherever we're going right now And I think it's always a lot more interesting to see cargo loaded onto a flatbed that we can actually look at rather than just a dry van all the time. American Truck Simulator has gotten much, much better at that, but I still think a lot of cargo is that way in real life, so it's realistic that most things would be transported in kind of just a dry van or a refrigerated van. No need for that in this game, I guess. If you need to throw the reefer on, you just, I guess, open the back door and you're good to go. Everything will flash freeze in the winter. All right, let's take a look at where we're going here. So we're heading down to a town here, which I guess does not have a name. Maybe it says in the contract, but we have to pull past this service station before we make our delivery, so that should be just fine. If this mimics what happens in the demo, if the demo was kind of the first hour of the game as well, although this is a little bit more open, I think once we get to our destination, we might be free to go back to our house and prepare a few meals or whatnot. I think you can also, I'm just pulling a lot of this from memory, I feel like this was the game where we could also maybe fish and hunt, and then we could bring that meat home. I think we could get a truck or something like that, and that's where the deer come in. I could be completely wrong about that, but I thought for a while I was very excited because it did incorporate a few things where you could take a day off and go hunting and then shoot deer and then like prepare meals at home. But that you may as well just go to the grocery store at that point and save yourself time. And of course, this isn't a hunting simulator either, so don't expect anything realistic when it comes to deer hunting. It's more like pull off the side of the road, see something move, shoot at it, go press E, bring it back to the truck, and you know, go home. But I do see that this game has come a long way since we first took a look at it. I think back in 2020. Where is this idiot where are these people going? Oh my god, the most realistic game ever. People are doing 15 miles an hour across a bridge. 15, bro. God. Anyway, I've played a few other logistics games recently on the channel as well, and they do kind of, this is about as good as they get without being ATS and Euro Truck, where they've got a pretty damn good budget based on their previous success. So any complaints towards the graphics, I definitely hear you for sure, and think they could be better, but also I've seen much, much worse too. I just can't believe this. I can't do 25 on this road. These people are, this is dangerous. I'm going to drive in the opposite lane. That's much safer. Hopefully the cops are around so they can cheer me on with their lights and sirens. Perfect. If they get behind me, I know I'll have their full support. There we go. All right, anyway, I guess you have to do some passing every once in a while. Now, this is cool. It's actually getting a little foggier out, and this is another thing I wanted to see in this game, too, where the weather would play a much more important role in how the cargo would handle or your visibility. So, obviously, storms of, blizzards and rainstorms will affect your visibility and ability to drive, but also maybe the temperature will affect the reliability of your truck, and you'll have breakdowns and have to worry about that, too, hence the repair kits and other things that I kind of mentioned a little earlier. Wow. Sun shafts through the trees, looking good. Looking real good. Yeah, this really makes me wish we got Gold Rush as a multiplayer game. Those graphics kind of remind me of this too, and I feel like Alaska, for the most part, needs a lot more games based on it. I feel like we need another Gold Rush game. I'm happy that this game is focusing on solely Alaskan trucking, because that is a gargantuan industry, huge, just for Alaska itself, and not to mention bringing things back down from Alaska, either via train and or via truck. So I feel like there could be a lot more rail simulators, aircraft simulators. Of course, we do have Microsoft Flight Simulator, and there, I think, are some DLCs coming out or updates for that one to be in Alaska as well. But I feel like Alaska really would be the perfect opportunity for a full survival game with not necessarily post-apocalyptic, but trying to make money by, being a bush pilot or doing trapping or doing trucking and taking a lot of different jobs that maybe it would look a lot like Farming Simulator, or maybe it'd look even nicer like something along the lines of Subsistence or Icarus, other survival games. But dealing with real-world industries where, you could maintain an airfield. There's been many shows on Discovery Channel and History of people logging and taking care of airfield. I think one was called Life Below Zero, where people are literally paid to stay at an airfield and maintain it for emergencies and or yearly runs, where fuel and spare parts and really just having an air traffic controller on premises is incredibly important. Wow, we're getting a little bit of a rainstorm here. Let's turn our lights up. And, whoa, what the hell? The hell was that? I'm pressing K. What is that? What is that mode? Is that like alert trucker mode? Like, is that 5-hour energy mode? Just hits different? Wow, I was trying to turn on my blades here, but I think we'll just pull in. It's probably more dangerous for me to fiddle around with buttons now after that. Looks like it looked over at the radio, and it was trying to turn on what I imagine in this game to be a satellite radio. I think you do get access to internet or satellite radio, so you can listen to pretty much whatever you want. Standard feature for ATS and Euro Truck, and nice that they put that in. All right, let's park in the box here. It looks like we didn't get a choice as to where to park or extra XP or whatnot, but we'll just go ahead and pull her in, and I think the whole trailer needs to fit in the box. Actually, that looks like truck and trailer, although that's way too small. Yeah, that's a little too small for us, I think. Precision parking, though. 5 stars on that one. Fairly easy. Go ahead and shut her off. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, we can control things from the cab, too. So this would be a fantastic VR game, if I do say so myself. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the handbrake there. Is there a parking brake? I guess it's the same, supposedly. And let's go ahead and maybe shut the truck off if we can. And we'll leave the battery on, because that's a good idea, I guess. All right, let's chat with this guy. Hello, sir. Park trailer in any available cargo dock at this location. Oh, is there somewhere else you want me to bring it? Or do you mean this? He means to actually, like, detach it. Oh, that's cool. So the cargo just doesn't disappear. We actually have to drop it off. It doesn't fade to black or anything like that. We actually have to lower the supports, opposite of what we did when we picked it up, and go in and detach the different lines here. I think one is for lights and one is for hydraulic braking. Shows what I know, but I believe these are great tools for anybody to learn about the trucking industry or specific industries too. I've learned so much from video games, and though it's not everything, it certainly piques your interest, and the next thing you know, you start watching YouTube videos of truckers who've been doing for 30, 40 years, and I feel like you could learn a lot more from those folks than you could ever reading a book, that's for sure. And that's what makes all those shows and other things interesting too. Park the trailer in any available cargo dock in this location. Well, I think we just did. Oh, we have to unlock too. Nice. Now we can collect our payment. Excellent. And we were almost done with that job. Now this says arrival time of 2 hours 15 minutes as if we were late, but the durability is 100%, and there was no penalty, so I guess we could have been a little faster. So yeah, whatever. You can always improve. There's always room for improvement. I'm not ashamed with that. All right, congratulations. You've completed your first order. So yeah, we can do things like go to fuel stations. We can plan out other routes. We can customize our shop too. You'll be able to buy new trucks and customize them as you wish. You can also invest the money into expanding your base to save on visits to workshops. Invest the experience you gain in yourself and develop useful skills in the driver tab. So we do have skills in this game. I guess you could qualify American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator as RPGs because you do get skill points and you can invest those in being more fuel efficient or whatnot. Let's go to the HQ and actually take a look at our base there. And yep, indeed, we are very close to it. That gray area I pointed out earlier. All right, let's go take a look at the base, and I want to see exactly what our truck garage looks like and possibly other trucks that we can get. And or I wonder if there's a spot on the map to buy those. Let's see. Player base, point of interest, hotel, city. I wonder if we can have multiple garages. I could only imagine that's possible. But you can also see stores and whatnot down here, for example, where we can go Dollar and D, yeah. So that's a dollar store that we can swing by. I think I can remember going to this dollar store in the demo. Oh, and you can see the opening time, too. So they're probably going to close by the time we get home and look around a little bit. So let's go ahead and fire it up. There we go. Cool. So yeah, I do appreciate how the controls, the truck itself does not feel arcadey. It certainly feels a lot heavier than the trucks of ATS or Euro Truck. I was expecting a lot more lightweight, unrealistic trucking, but this is pretty close. It's quite close. But also I like the ability to customize the truck too, so hopefully that doesn't mean just like cosmetics, like different types of exhaust and chrome and other types of interiors. Hopefully that does mean we can drop a new engine in it, or a different transmission, tires, etc., etc. And hopefully those actually pay off and make differences, including putting chains on our tire, which I think is another thing to do. I did watch the trailer for this one a couple of times. You know, we can do things like go to a convenience store and like literally, we can literally drink coffee at the convenience store. So if we're needing a little bit of energy, we don't have to sleep. We can, you know, take a little bit of coffee or swing by and get some beef jerky if we're hungry, that kind of thing. And weather does play a pretty big part in all that, too. In other words, you know, if it's real stormy and you can pull over, go to a gas station, might be a good idea. What the hell's going on here? Whoa, what? Wow, an AI pileup. How did this happen? It looks like this truck was trying to... I can't even explain what they were... What the hell? This is like a full roadblock. What the hell is this? A rival trucking company trying to... like, get in on my territory? What's going on here? Wow, blocking traffic in both directions. Is that an army truck up there? It looked like a troop transporter, but I think it's a dump truck. Anyway, that was weird. I'm glad I didn't stop and wait. Oh, cool. Our friends are here. Glad to have their support. Cool. All right, so for those of you wondering what happens when you crash, people often ask, even to this day in Euro Truck and ATS, if you bump into something, you get a little bit of a fine. If you speed and the police are around, you get a little bit of fine. There's no high-speed chases, bike strips, and pit maneuvers or anything crazy. It's just basically, oh, there was a cop and you were over the limit, and then it's just withdrawn from your account. So it's nothing spectacular. It's like in Microsoft Flight Sim. If you hit the ground or something or the side of a mountain, it either just fades to black and is like, hey, don't do that, or bounces you off a mountain or something, that kind of thing. Nothing spectacular. No aerial crashes that are insane with an ejection or something. All right, well, let's go ahead and head into town. I would like to see how refueling works if we can find a gas station. And also hit up the Dollar and D, the dollar store, the Costco. So I gotta say, driving with the keyboard is really comfortable and feels just about right. I think it would be even better with a controller, and even better than that with a wheel. Although you will need to take a little bit of time to set up the wheel to have the proper dead zone, and if you use force feedback, that kind of thing to make everything right. So that is something to consider. And I've seen driving games, even Construction Simulator, getting more improvements with having access to track IR. So I would say that at this point, any game that has any sort of simulation where you're in like a cockpit or a cab, maybe a little lesser extent this game, because you do actually get out of the vehicle. Hopefully we get track IR implementation or integration to all those. And I've got to say, this is a lot similar to, for example, Train Sim World, or many of the other train games you may have seen on the channel, because we do get to go out of the cab and interact with a lot of the parts and machinery outside the vehicle too. And that's something you do in train sim games, where you go and if you played Derail Valley before, you know all about switching tracks and coupling and decoupling cars and moving things onto different moving things all around and doing shunting and things like that. So hopefully this is something that we can even do more on in the future. All right, welcome to the HQ. It's the key location for our business. Later in the game, we'll be able to expand it. All right, so I'm assuming we won't get any more territory than this, but it looks like some buildings are abandoned, where we can then probably improve them and upgrade them and do stuff with them. All right, let's see. Can we pull in here? Will this door open? This looks a little small. Indeed it is. Oh, there's a trailer there. I wonder if we actually get to own our own trailers. The rain looks good, though. The shiny surfaces certainly are on par with SnowRunner. I think I'll park here for now. I do miss the demo for this game, though, because it did have us playing in the midst of winter, where when we went outside it was already like negative, I don't know, 20 degrees or something like that, and we had to worry about the, not freezing and warming up the truck, which was pretty cool. All right, let's hop out. Always appreciate a cockpit, too, where you can look around, or, a cab or whatnot, where you can look around and interact with stuff. Again, train sims do that. Flight sim does that. This game does that. I do appreciate the option to do that, or just hit a hotkey. Muscle memory in your car, when you go to flip something on or turn something off or, do any sort of toggling, it's usually muscle memory, unless you have those damn infotainment centers. I do appreciate a good switch or a lever or a slider or something like that, instead of having to go into the BIOS and updating your firmware in order to then raise the temperature of the vehicle by 2 degrees, You know what I'm saying? Are you with me? Hell yeah. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. Sale, 50% off, huh? All right. Well, we can sleep here. We can eat here. Apparently, we have a PC. Nice. I think we might be able to take up some jobs here, too. Or maybe this is the upgrade screen. Now, I'm not sure if we can hire other drivers to take over our trucks once we have multiple... test overlay, question mark. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we can have multiple trucks where other drivers will then take over our trucks when we move on to another truck. But there does seem to be 6 classes of trucks, one of which is here. We don't have access to these. So all the way up to class 6, but we'll need other perks to do so. So it looks like we'll buy a truck here, and we don't get to go to a dealer or whatnot. I like the option for both, though. We start with $10,000. First thing is to upgrade the workshop to level 1 from 0. And it looks like we need a car workshop 2. Is that different from the truck workshop? It does seem to be the same. And then, of course, jobs, too. So we can take jobs from here, or we can more than likely see them on the GPS and just drive up and take a job that way. Bank and loan. Looks like we can take out a $30,000 loan all the way up to $60,000 with a interest rate of 20%. Whoa, scam. Interest of $12,000? Whoa. That's ridiculous. Whew. Good luck on that one. You think a business loan would be a little bit more lenient. There you go. So this is kind of where the... I guess this might be where we are right now, is Nenana, or near Fairbanks. And all the way up to the north, where we see on the map, that must be Beaufort Sea. So that must be all the way up here. At least I'm kind of imagining that as what they're trying to go for. And then I think Anchorage is all the way down there somewhere, and it kind of comes close to that, as close as possible. But it does show that there are several roads that come to an end that are connected to the edge of the map. So they might, yeah, as you can see, there's a few dead ends. They probably will expand upon some of that and maybe have different seasons where they then go into maybe more, I don't know, gold mining or more intensive logging or something like that, where different trucks and equipment are available for that. So, yeah. So it's not all of Alaska. Alaska's huge, about the size of Texas, and mostly, you know, quote-unquote uninhabited, mostly, you know, not major cities everywhere, but absolutely gorgeous. What a beautiful country that is, like territory. Beautiful spot. All right. So a lot of this stuff we can't really interact with. A lot of it's just set dressing. The footsteps are a little weird, but what's cooking? Good looking. Ah, we're getting steam. Cool. I wonder if there's anything in the fridge. Chocolate bar, winter coat, chainsaw. Oh, that's another thing about this game, too, is that I think there can be downed trees. And as it says, they're used to cut and remove fallen trees. So if a big storm hits, we'll have to slow and go and stop every so often to actually cut down trees and clear the way for us and other drivers. And knowing the AI, we'd probably have to get out and walk past 30 cars to be able to do that. These are already currently in our inventory, though. So, and of course, we can put those on the truck. We don't have to carry those on us all the time. So as we get more and more food, such as we could cook here from before, there's an option. Yeah, more nutritious meals can be prepared in the oven. Yeah, you can buy crappy stuff that can be microwaved in your cab, but an actual good meal. We sound like a horse. I can't unhear it now. Hey, I love the transition outside. So let's go ahead and take a look at the truck a little bit more, because this is really what separates this game from the other games where we can interact with the sleeper cab and put things back there. Let's see if we can climb into the back. Yeah, cool. So we've got storage here, so we can put things like repair kits here, extra oil, whatever. Right there you see a bag of chips up at the top. And it spoils in a day and 20 hours. Please. A bag of chips that should last for months. We do have the ability to microwave things here too. So yeah, frozen meals can be put in there. And we got ourselves a MRE beef stew, which will expire in 9 days. So come on, MRE should last for years. Unless we literally bought something that was already going bad. We got coolant, another winter coat, so we've got 2 of those. It looks like there's durability to those as well. And engine oil. You don't need durability, brother, if you're buying a Carhartt. You don't need anything else. You got to swing by the Bass Pro Shops to pick up some real equipment. Nice. So we got our bed. Every truck will have a little bit of a different interior, but the basics will be here: microwave, refrigerator, and a little extra storage. So if you need something for the truck, you can just get it from there. So I do like that. I really wish ATS and Euro Truck would just simply implement that. I think that'd be an amazing thing because we could already kind of like, you know, sleep in the truck, but it'd be kind of cool to like go back there and just do some, you know, survival level stuff. But it's a trucking sim, and you know, it does kind of simulate the pulling over and whatnot. But once the worker's on their own personal time, it's kind of intended that they, or implied that they, of course, are doing things like eating and sleeping and taking care of themselves. You must have a radiator cover to use this machine. Oh, mechanic, I see. Anything else we can mess with? Yeah, we can put chains on the tires. That's cool. Tire does not need a repair. So I guess we don't need to do it until winter. I love the freshly wet tarmac here. All right, I can't stand the footprints anymore. Anything else to look at before we go? We did go into that building, I think. That's kind of where our stove and our maintenance bay is. And yeah, I don't think we can interact with that building. All right, let's go to the store. See what we can do there. So you get the gist of it, right? Like we can haul all sorts of different cargo from oil tankers and fuel tankers, heavy equipment. There's flatbed trailers. Everything you could think of in ATS and Eurotruck is here and more, but just around the Alaskan theme and a little clunkier. And when this game releases in just a few weeks, I think it'll be... I don't think there's a price for this one at the moment, but if this is somewhere around $29, $39, I think that'll be okay. So long as they add a lot of free updates and a lot of free trucks and things like that. They're certainly not going to be putting ATS and Eurotruck out of business, but I think it's a good idea to welcome competition to a space that certainly has a lot more interesting places that you could truck to. There's plenty of mods for ATS and Eurotruck to go to South America or areas in China and Japan, and it's certainly fascinating to see modding communities get that passionate about making those areas, but I think we could go a lot further than that too. Oh, no, you don't. Nice try. I'm going to pull over here. Well, quote-unquote pull over and set course to the... see if we can set course to the little store there. Maybe we can get there before we run out of time. I thought we wouldn't have time to do that. But, yeah, so by the time we get to the store, we'll be down to about 30 minutes. My imagination is running wild with all the things I could do in the 1 hour that they give you, but honestly I think you get your first job, but maybe you don't necessarily have to take it. Perhaps at the start of this beta preview it's possible to just ditch the cargo that's there, pull out and go to a quarry or maybe a farm or a logging camp and try to get some other interesting equipment. Again, there's military equipment, you know, there's heavy trailers of all different sizes, and some that almost seem like they're oversized trailers, or they're pretty damn close to it, and they're certainly heavy cargo too. So I want to see what this basic truck can do. It's got to be able to do more than just dry vans, otherwise that's going to get boring. But, you know, before you buy a new truck, it'd be nice to upgrade your current truck. Whoa, ambush. All right, well, that guy stopped in the middle of the intersection, officer. I don't even see a stop sign there, was there? Go back and look for me. Anyway, yeah, I think it'd be cool to do having multiple people work for your company and then have multiple upgrades too. Otherwise, everything's just going to be too much of rushing to buy the best truck that can haul everything and not really doing everything, you know? Like, it'll be the jobs that make the most money, but not necessarily enjoying the terrain and the variety of cargo and the things that might happen, like down trees and maintenance on your truck. You know, you never know what might break down, that kind of thing. So, all right, we're gonna go this way, I guess. Whoa. Yeah, so when it comes to being an automotive, like, trucking sim, it's certainly got the open world driving and realism down for a lot of things like the weather. That's another thing that I gotta say, ATS and Eurotruck would love to see implemented seasons. I know there's mods, but I think it would be just an amazing thing for those games. Just like how City Skylines recently has been getting a new release. City Skylines 2 coming soon is getting seasons, and that's something that was like, wow, why wasn't that like in the first game, and why wasn't that a DLC later, now being put into the base game? But I think that's something that ATS and Eurotruck could add. But I've got to say, the developers of both those games, you know, it's the same dev, implemented multiplayer when I never thought they would do it. There, of course, was, what was it, Truckers Online, and, or whatever it was called. It was just amazing to be able to play with other people, but it was boring because there were no other cars around, and now you can drive up to 8 players, and it's stable as hell. And I think the developers should increase that up to like 32 or 16 or whatnot. But it'd be cool. to see more. So it's good to have competition in this space. Hopefully it makes the developers of that game consider maybe not the survival aspect of freezing to death and, you know, dying in a horrible crash or whatnot, or starving on the road, which aren't we all, you know, starving on the road alive, brother. But I do appreciate that they put in some more interesting mechanics, such as breakdowns like this guy perhaps, random idiots in the road. No, but like the fallen trees. Oh, wow, there was an accident there. Wow. I guess that just adds to the realism. All right, well, now we're at the store. Let's see what we can buy here. Is there no trucker parking? Oh, let's park here. Whoa, 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 buddy, buddy. No wonder everything's going crazy. You see that guy over there? Oh, no, that car's about to T-bone him. There was a purple car passing behind. Did he make it? You know, I'm going to leave the truck on just in case we got to get out of here. This is crazy. You all right, buddy? Oh, that's cool. The store itself where we can buy things is actually a delivery point for cargo, too. A couple of different cargo that can be picked up here and or dropped off. This one looking like it has maybe... That's a hopper for rocks or soil or something? What was this guy trying to do? It seems like everybody tries to go to the end of a road and then pull a U-turn and then plows right into a tree or a fence or something. Wow. Like he knocked out that tree, too. Alright, so here at the store, I think we used to be able to just pull into like a little square that was flashing and buy stuff. I don't remember actually being able to go into the store, so that's kind of cool. Zulu Fuzz. Hello. Job manager. Oh, we could pick up stuff here to pick up and deliver. Or we can literally buy stuff. Oh, awesome. So we can actually buy clothing. That's cool. So if we need more jackets or whatnot, a light jacket or winter coats or whatnot, we can do it here. Like that. I like that. Toilet paper. Can we buy that? No. We can buy king crab legs and salmon. Ingredients. Those are all things we can cook up at the house. I do like that. We can get ready to do some trucking with energy drinks and juice, and maybe there's coffee here too. I see water bottles. More meat. There's some frozen stuff here. Ooh, fajita kit. Nice. That's all I wanted to show you guys was the grocery store. That's all. Oh, dude, they have enchiladas. Oh, do they have chicken tenders? Let's go. Although I would rather have the... who the hell puts pasta in the freezer? What? I know, right? Like, what the hell? That's pasta. And that looks to be like instant noodles there, like they said. Anyway, is that dog food? Oh, if we could get a dog to ride with us, that'd be game of the year. Yeah, forget about Starfield and whatnot. If you can get a dog to ride with you, that'd be awesome. Sea rations, too. Oh, we got MREs. Yeah, nice. Spendy, but they'll last a long time. And then we can even buy a soda and some coffee. That's really cool. So I don't remember a fully functioning shop like this, but can we buy hot dogs? No way. Sweet. What sausage madman? What? Anyway, there's a lot of these stores around the map, so it's not like there's only one at our central location. So that is cool that you can pull into a store. This is one of the things that I'd love to do in ATS, is actually America has some really cool truck stops where you can go in, and they're more like tourist traps, really. I mean, they've certainly got stores in them, and they've got everything that you could imagine inside. Showers for the truckers. They've got, restaurants on them. But then also they've got like frozen foods and, as I mentioned, like different types of restaurants and cafes. But also like a whole grocery section where it's almost like a mini store for anybody who lives in the area. I think I've been to the United States largest. It could be the world's largest too, in Iowa at the time, back in the early 2000s. But I really appreciate that they put all this in, and hopefully every store is a little different. And I would like to see... Is that an RC Cola machine? Kind of trying to be. But yeah, I'd love to see this in ATS and Euro Truck. Certainly not required, but it would be a wonderful mod. If all of the things that have impressed you here in this game make you go, oh, that's cool, but I'm not interested in this game. Well, imagine it in ATS and Euro Truck, being able to get out of your truck, customize things. Probably a little bit too much for that game. But if they ever did it, that would be a huge mod, and I would definitely love to cover it. So if you know of anything like that, let me know. That'd be cool, too, if we could actually pull ourselves out of a ditch with some tow ropes or something, or some chains on the truck, other than the tires. Right. Well, that's going to be all for our first look at the Alaskan Road Truckers beta, which is really the full version of the game, just with a timer for some reason, but it'll be coming out in about a month. There probably is going to be some changes between then and now, but, I mean, here's the map. You see a lot of the trucks, a lot of things we have to unlock, but I do think that this one at least has some potential, and I certainly want to live stream it and show off a little bit more of the features. Here's all the different attributes, too. We've got our trucker skills, so, our personalized skills as a kind of a survivalist, so resisting the cold and cutting down trees. Then ones for driving trucks, so our different types of licenses and classes for the trucks. And then mechanical, which allows us to do more repairs and better repairs as we do that. So pretty damn cool. Reputation, almost 3 stars. We made about 10,000 bucks. Wait a minute. Didn't I have 10,000? Oh, maybe I had to pay some loan interest. I don't know. Anyway, that's it for now. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. And thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a fantastic afternoon, good evening, and good night. And keep on trucking. Rip and dip, brother. Let's go.